Namo Vishnupada Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namo Vishnupada Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshutare. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are discussing shloka, this is shloka 55. And just show it in a second here. Okay, so I'll read the shloka, then we'll discuss. Yam krodha kama sahaja pranayadi bhiti vatsalya moha guru gaurava sevya bhavai sanchintya tasya sadrishin tanuma purete govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So this is the last prayer offered by Brahma, where he says Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. He concludes his prayers by the shloka. Translation goes like this. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, the meditators of whom, by meditating upon him under the sway of wrath, amorous passion, naturally friendly love, fear, parental affection, delusion, reverence, and willing service, attain to the bodily forms befitting the nature of their contemplation. So here the Lord Brahma expresses his appreciation of Krishna, saying that even those who in fear or anger or delusion meditate upon him, even they are granted liberation. What to speak of devotees who serve him with love and devotion? That's basically the gist of the verse. So therefore you say, I worship that Supreme Lord who is so kind that even demons are liberated. What to speak of devotees? That's the kind of main idea here. So, and this is also in Shastras explained. We know the examples of Putana, for example, no? The demonesses, the man-eaters, not meat-eaters, but man-eaters. And this different category of Manu. She also was accepted as one of the nurses, one of the mothers in the Goloka by Krishna, just by Krishna accepting her attitude of trying to feed him a breast milk. So Krishna took the good point. He did not took the bad point of administering poison, trying to kill him. So Putana got the amazing exalted position of a mother in spiritual world. Of course, this is not recommended practice, that one should approach Krishna in unfavorable way. Anukulena Krishna Shilana Bhakti-rutra will be discussing this. And that is exceptional mercy on Putana. Or other demons also, like Arishtasura and Kesha demon, after being killed, they attained bodies of the oxen and pulling carts in Goloka, for example. And others also, they got delivered by Krishna's mercy, extraordinary mercy of the Lord. So then Brahma said, what to speak of devotees who serve him in different rasas, as mentioned here. So and that particularly refers to Krishna's Swayam Rupa. When Krishna himself comes, he awards these special types of mokshas to different personalities who focus their mind on him, whether in anger or in fear or in envy or in love and devotion as a devotee. Other avatars, they bestow heavenly planets or some material opulences upon the demons when they kill them. But the Krishna Swayam Rupa, he actually bestows moksha and more than moksha, different type of muktis, sarupya and samipa and like that, different muktis are bestowed. So these are some of the examples, some little bit just to remember from from the Bhagavatam and other Puranas. Now we'll read the purport. Purport says like this: devotion is of two kinds, of the nature of difference to regulation and constituted of natural feeling. So this refers to two types of bhakti. Which one is this? Difference of regulation. Sadhana bhakti means particularly Vaidhi bhakti. Vaidhi bhakti. Sadhana bhakti has two divisions. I just help you a little bit to refresh yourself. Sadhana bhakti has two divisions: Vaidhi bhakti, and here is the definition, and Raganuga bhakti. So these two types of bhakti are explained. Sadhana bhakti general definition is when transcendental devotional service by which love for Krishna is attained is executed by senses, is called sadhana bhakti, or the regulative discharge of devotional service. Such devotion, bhava, eternally exists within the heart of every living entity. The awakening of this eternal devotion is the potentiality of devotional service in practice. So now, when there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving service to Lord, and one is engaged in service of Lord simply out of obedience to the order of spiritual master or in pursuance of the scriptures, such obligatory service is called Vaidhi bhakti. So Vaidhi bhakti means that impetus for service is Shastra and Guru's order. There's no still spontaneous attraction to Krishna. And that is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That was the definition we read. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, immediately further explanation is given that Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddhachiti Karavidai. So when one is engaged in these practices of Shravanadi, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, then Krishna Bhakti, which is already in one's heart, is awakened by that process. So Chaitanya Charitamrita goes on explaining there are two processes of practical devotional service. One is regulated devotional service, Vaidhi Bhakti, and Raganuga Bhakti, and the other is spontaneous devotional service. So here it is explained. Those who have not attained the platform of spontaneous attachment in devotional service render devotional service under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master according to regulative principles mentioned in revealed scriptures. According to the revealed scriptures, this kind of devotional service is called Vaidhi Bhakti, based on Vidhis, instructions of Shastras. And then the definition is also given. When there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving service of the Lord, one is engaged in service of the Lord simply out of obedience to the order of spiritual master. This is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu quote right there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita given. So Srila Prabhupada explains here these points. In the beginning, one has to hear from bona fide spiritual master. This is favorable for advancing in devotional service. According to this process, one hears, chants, remembers, and engages in deity worship, acting under the direction of spiritual master. These are the essential primary activities of devotional service. Devotional service must not be executed for some material purpose. One should not even have a desire to merge into the absolute truth. So Prabhupada defines ahaituki apratigata, no? Free from any motivation, free from expectation, should not be any karma, jnana, not expecting any results of this also, and anukulya should be also favorable. One has to render such devotion service out of love only. Ahaituki apratihata. Devotion service must be without ulterior motives. Then material conditions cannot check it. Otherwise, you will not get result. One will not get actually result expected. Gradually, one can rise to the platform of spontaneous loving service. Now, by following instructions of Guru, by applying ourselves in Shravana Kirtan Vishnu Smaranam, what will happen? That one will develop that spontaneous attraction. So from Vaidhi, one will be naturally, spontaneously achieving the Raganuga state. A child is sent to school by force to receive an education. But when he gets a little taste of education at an advanced age, he automatically participates and becomes a learned scholar. One cannot force a person to become a scholar, but sometimes force is used in the beginning. A child is forced to go to school and read and write according to the instruction of his teacher. Such is the difference between Vaidhi Bhakti and spontaneous Bhakti. So beginning we push, come on, Mangalarti, change your arms, don't be spaced out, don't be in Maya, no? Push the mission. Yeah? We are a little bit pushed and forced, and sometimes we are complaining because of that. No? But once actually the taste is developed, our own interest is developed, then there is no need anymore for any of the pushes, forces. Dormant love for Krishna exists in everyone's heart, and it is simply has to be awakened by the regulative process of devotional service. So that is called the Nitya Siddha, Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya. One has to learn to use a typewriter by following regulative principles of the typing book. One has to place his fingers on the keys in such a way and practice. But when one becomes adept, he can type swiftly and correctly without even looking at the keys. So Prabhupada gives this really simple, straightforward examples, Similarly, one has to follow the rules and regulations of devotional service as they are set down by spiritual master. Then one can come to the point of spontaneous loving service. This love is already there within the heart of everyone. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. Spontaneous service is not artificial. One simply has to come to that platform by rendering devotional service according to the regulative principles. Thus, one has to practice hearing and chanting and following the other regulative principles by washing the temple, cleansing oneself, rising early in the morning, attending Mangal Arati, and so on. If one does not come to the platform of spontaneous service in the beginning, he must adopt regulative service according to the instructions of the spiritual master. This regulative service is called Vaidhi Bhakti. So this is explained here, that definition of Vaidhi Bhakti, what is mentioned in the purport. Okay, now the purport continues. Devotions of two kinds, nature of difference to regulation, and constitute of natural feeling. Bhakti is rose by following with a tinge of faith in the rules of Shastra. So, Adav Shraddha, Tada Satsanga, Tat Bhajana Kriya, this is mentioned here. And instruction of preceptors. Such bhakti is of the nature of loyalty to the scriptural regulations. Definition of Vaidhi. It constitutes to be operative as long as the corresponding nature of feeling is not roused. Okay, so we practice Vaidhi Bhakti till that spontaneous feeling is not roused. If a person loves Krishna out of natural tendency, that there is the principle of raga, which is no other than a strong desire to serve, which turns into bhav or substantial feeling. So now the definition of raganuga is described here. When the substantial feeling is aroused, the devotee becomes an object of mercy of Krishna. It takes much time to attain this stage. Devotion, which is of the nature of feeling, is superior to that connected with scriptural regulation. So Raganuga is more mature stage of bhakti than Vaidhi Bhakti. Soon attains to the real state and is attractive to Krishna. So we know how it goes. The Kleshagni and Shubhata and Moksha, Lagutagrit, and ultimately Krishna Karshani means it becomes attractive to Krishna. So this is the beauty, the quality of that bhakti. Its various aspects are described in this shloka. Now, here the purport says that its various aspects are described in this shloka. So this shloka describes all the statements of the Raganuga Bhakti, and this will be discussed now in the few moments. Just before that, we will just see the definitions of Raganuga Bhakti. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, definition is explained like this. If one follows in the footsteps of inhabitants of Vrindavan, out of such transcendental covetousness, he does not care for the injunctions or reasonings of Shastra. This is the way of spontaneous love. Now the secret is that they are devotees who are having love of God, who has a raga, attachment to Krishna, bhav, prem in their heart. So they are called raga atmaka bhaktas. So now one who follows them, who follows into their mood, thinking how Mother Yashoda serves Krishna, how Gopas are serving Krishna, how Gopis are serving Krishna. If you're following in their footsteps, you are called raga nuga. Raga nuga. You're following in the mood of their raga. So this is called the raga nuga. So here, the definition is given. Devotional service in spontaneous love is vividly expressed and manifested by inhabitants of Vrindavan. Devotional service that accords with their devotional service is called Raganuga Bhakti. Devotional service that accords with their devotional service. So Bhakti means that we follow the moods of the residents of Vrindavan. That is called Raganuga Bhakti. Or devotional service following in the wake of spontaneous loving service. So Srila Prabhupada explains that in the purport, and he quotes immediately Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur, that a devotee is attracted by the service of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, namely the covered man, Maharaj Nanda, Mother Yashoda, Radharani, the gopis, and the cows and calves. An advanced devotee is attracted by the service rendered by an eternal servitor of the Lord. So as we chant, as we read, as we hear, as we wash the floor, as we wash the pots, as we offer the artis to Krishna, our heart is getting pure. Chaito Darpana Marjanam. As we chant innumerous numbers of rounds in Japamala and in Kirtans, and we apply ourselves fully with body, mind, and words, then slowly, automatically, spontaneously, one becomes attracted to particular type of pastimes in Vrindavan, to particular type of devotees, to particular type of lilas. Mind goes automatically to that. That's not to be imitated, not to be speculated. You know, it comes automatically. It will be attracted, just like a young boy is attracted to the young girl, automatically by the providence, by the arrangements of Lord Brahma. So similarly, the spontaneous soul will become attracted with particular mood, particular type of service. This attraction is called spontaneous attraction. And this phone ringing is called spontaneous distraction. Technically, it is called swarupa upalabdhi. This stage is not achieved in the beginning. In the beginning, one has to render service strictly according to the regulative principles set forth by the revealed scriptures and the spiritual master. By continuously rendering service through the process of Vaidhi Bhakti, one's natural inclination is gradually awakened. That is called spontaneous attraction of Raga Anuga Bhakti. So this is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we find further explanation of spontaneous devotion. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu explains like this. When an advanced, realized devotee hears about the affairs of the devotees in Vrindavan, in the mellows of Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, he becomes inclined in one of these ways, and his intelligence becomes attracted. Indeed, he begins to covet that particular type of devotion. When such covetousness is awakened, one's intelligence no longer depends on the instructions of Shastra, revealed scriptures, or on logic and argument. Okay, so one's intelligence no longer depends on instructions of Shastra. So you don't have to preach yourself. Okay, we purchased some bananas, I have to offer, because we cannot eat what is not prasadam. So you're by your intelligence and based on Shastra and based on instruction of spiritual master, you're trying to not forget Krishna. But when one is in love with Krishna, as soon as you see banana, oh, bananas for Krishna, immediately comes, yes, I'll give to Krishna. Just like mother, if mother gets some gifts, mother gets some chocolate or something, she'll not think, oh, chocolate. No, immediately I'll give to my child. Automatically. It is not even thinking in 1 second that, oh, I'm the enjoyer of the chocolate. Immediately she's thinking, I'll give to my child. It's the same thing when love for Krishna is there, automatically everyone is spontaneously seeing everything for Krishna's pleasure. So that's the idea. So in that place, one's intelligence no longer depends on instruction of Shastra. It's automatically attracted by Krishna. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll find further explanations. One executes this Raganuga Bhakti in two ways, external and internal. When the self-realized, the advanced devotee, externally remains like a neophyte and executes all the Shastric injunctions, especially those concerning hearing and chanting. But within his mind, his original, purified, self-realized position, he serves Krishna in Vrindavan in his particular way. He serves Krishna 24 hours a day, all day and night. So not that now, Raganuga Bhakti, okay, now no need any more rules, regulations, no need to come Mangalarti, no need to chant the rounds, no need to eat only prasadam. Raganuga doesn't mean breaking all the rules, regulations. It means that rules, regulations will be followed for the sake of teaching others. Yad yad acharati shreshtas, tat tat evetarajan. But the person actually, externally, he practices as everybody else. Vaidhi Bhakti. But internally, he is fully absorbed. In his mind, 24 hours, even nighttime, he is fully absorbed. There is no moment in a day that he forgets Krishna, that he is not Krishna conscious. So this is the quality of this Raganuga Bhakti. Okay, so Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is then quoted that the advanced devotee who is inclined to spontaneous loving service should follow the activities of particular associates of Krishna's in Vrindavan. He should execute service externally as a regulated devotee and as well as internally from his self-realized position. Thus, he should perform devotional service both externally and internally. So this is how it goes. And therefore, it's very difficult to say who is on which platform. You can see humble person doing his puja, not talking much, not having, he's not a temple president, not a temple commander, neither he's GBC, neither he's some big gun, as we would say, in managerial structure, you know. But maybe person is fully absorbed in Krishna service 24 hours a day and relishes that within himself. And the more one is actually on that platform, the rest one will show off, because by showing off, you may lose it. Actually, one who is devotee, one who has pure devotion, he is not showing off. It's complete opposite. The Kanishta Adhikari tends to announce to the whole world how great devotee he is. But those who are more advanced, they keep more humble and more simple and more shy and hide it from others, because it's the greatest treasure that one can have, love of God. So that is kept really in one's heart. Okay, then Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is quoted. The devotee should always think of Krishna within himself and should choose a very dear devotee who is servitor of Krishna in Vrindavan. One should constantly engage in topics about that servitor and his loving relation with Krishna. And one should live in Vrindavan. If one is physically unable to go to Vrindavan, he should mentally live there. So mentally, he should be fully absorbed in Krishna and pastimes of Vrindavan. So these are some instruction. Here we can see the glories of devotional service mentioned in this shloka. Let me offer respectful obeisance again and again to those who always eagerly meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a husband, son, friend, brother, father, or intimate friend, as a lover, basically. So here, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu proclaims the glories of that type of devotees, or of that type of devotion. Let me offer respect again and again to those who always eagerly meditate. So devotees in Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, or Madhurya, they are the highest of devotees. They spontaneously, they have love of God, and they always thinking, submerging their thoughts and the feelings in the Krishna's form and Krishna's pastimes, and particularly following into the mood of some particular devotee in Vrindavan. So, okay, so we will see a little bit more of this purport. Shantabhav, full of reverence to superior. These are the rasas now that one will follow in Raganuga. Dasya Bhav, full of service for carrying out the commands of the object of worship. Sakya Bhav, natural friendly love. Vatsalya Bhav, parental affection, and Madhurya Bhav, or amorous love, are all included in the category of devotion of the nature of instinctive attachment. Means these are all Raganuga. And now Srila Jiva Goswami explained word by word in this shloka. It's a very interesting shloka. Look at the word by word. Yam apahum krodha. Krodha means wrath, anger. Kama, amorous passion. Kama here refers to the Shingara rasa, Madhurya rasa. Because the shloka is defined, that refers to the Raganuga Bhakti. So krodha also will be explained by Srila Jiva Goswami. So this is how he says, Sahaja Pranaya. Sahaja Pranaya means naturally friendly love. Sakya Rasa is referred here as Sahaja Pranaya. Then Adi and so on. Bhiti, fear is there. That Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Bibhatsa Rasa, fear or disgust. That this rasa is also one of the secondary rasa, Bibhatsa Rasa. Vatsalya Rasa, parental affection. Moha. Now what moha is here? Moha here defined is one of the Vyabhichari bhavs, describes. Vyabhichari bhavs, this is a very strong emotional, this describes a destructive, aggressive emotion on level of bhav, level of prema. When love of God is manifested, sometimes when Krishna suddenly leaves in separation, one becomes completely bewildered, stunned, moha, complete bewilderment. So this is the expression of one in the Raganuga Bhakti, one of the 32 Vyabhichari symptoms of Vyabhichari bhav described in the Shastras. So this refers to that one. Some devotees explain this moha here to be also moha, bewilderment of one being absorbed in impersonal Brahman. So they are so much absorbed in person that they're not, they kind of block out with of course, material consciousness is not there at all, but they are fully absorbed so much that they're not at all aware of anything else. So that also may cause you full absorption in Brahma Jyoti or Brahman, may cause you impersonal liberation. So that also may refers to that moha, like that. Guru Gaurava. Guru Gaurava, reverence. Reverence refers to Dasya Rasa. Particularly Guru Gaurava is explained in, I think I have some quotes of Guru Gaurava. Let me see for a second. Okay, just a second. I'll just show a few shlokas. Guru Gaurava is Dasya Rasa. Okay, this is the definition of, I didn't give you definition from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, moha. A blank or confused state of the mind, internal inaction, arising from joy, separation, fear, or lamentation is called moha. In this state, there is a falling on the ground, absence of sense perception, wandering around, and inactivity. So these are symptoms describes of the moha. And here, Gaurava Rasa is described. Affection for Krishna by those who identify themselves as his objects of indulgence is called Gauravottara. When this affection is narrowed by elements starting with Vibhav, it's called Gaurava Priti Rasa. So examples are given like this. Those who think that they are the younger brothers or sisters, or they are his sons, related to Krishna, are the ashrayas of this rasa. Among them, Sarana, Gada, and Subhadra are chief younger brothers and sisters, and Pradyumna, Charudeshna, and Samba are his sons. So these are the examples given of the Guru Gaurava. Guru means a guru, a teacher, Guru Gaurava. So one who has relation as a superior, Krishna is superior to me, is my elder brother or is my father. So this is Guru Gaurava Sevya, that mood of Dasya Rasa in relation to Krishna as his father, and Pradyumna is glorified among all this as the best example. He fully embodies that mood of taking Krishna as his, in the Dasya Rasa, but not exactly Dasya Rasa because he is Krishna's son. So there is such a close intimacy. It's different Dasya Rasa from Vaikuntha, but still, it is mentioned in Shastra when Krishna would come, Pradyumna will not speak. He will look at the floor. He will be so humble. He will be so shy. And Krishna will try to encourage him to talk more and more, but he could not. because of his feelings of Guru Gaurava, that feelings of relation, that what shall I speak in front of Krishna? Not only is my father, but he is Supreme Lord. And his excellent qualities, he always knows Krishna's activities, his dealings with mother, but his dealings with kinsmen also in Dwaraka. Then his dealings with Kauravas, then his dealings killing of these Asuras. So he is fully aware, fully absorbed in that. So he is speechless in front of Krishna. That is Pradyumna. So, for example, these are given. Okay, so Srila Jiva Goswami explained this. The Gaura means being fixed in conception of Krishna's as Krishna is one's parent. Not that we are parents of Krishna, but Krishna is our parent. So this is amazing that devotee can achieve this position, to be born as a son of Krishna. This is, we say generally, all souls are sons of the God. Yes, but not all souls can have lunch together with God, as Pradyumna can, for example. No? Means live in the same house, palace, have Krishna as a father. That means Krishna would play with Pradyumna and other sons. He will hold their hand, he will bath them, he will take them with him on the ride, he would feed them, he would play with them. This is extraordinary position. This is not just we are all sons of God. All right. So this is explained. Okay, so these examples are given by devotees. Okay, then we have what is the next one? We have a Sevya Bhavai, with an attitude of willing service. Sevya Bhavai, where we are Sevya. Sevya means again Dasya Rasa, in which one identifies oneself as a servant of Krishna. So Guru Gaurava is higher. That is very intimate understanding, relation with Krishna. When down Sevya Dasya Rasa, one identifies as a servant of Krishna. And all these devotees, they attain the bodies according to their service, according to requirement for their service. So those who are meditating Dasya Rasa to Vishnu, they got 400 form as Vishnu. You know that all the residents in Vaikuntha, they have 400 form, because Vishnu has 400 form. So that is provided by the Lord as a requirement for service to them. So it's not that when they said that somebody achieved swarupa mukti or something, the bodily form of the Lord, equal to the Lord, that doesn't mean that these other rasas will achieve the same. That means that those who are worshipping Vatsalya rasa, they will not get bodies of the children equal or younger than Krishna, like Pauganda or Kumara or Kishora. No, they will get always bodies of the elder people who are nourishers of Krishna, Vatsalya rasa. So they have to get suitable body. It's not that everybody gets the same body. No, according to the rasa, everybody gets a different body in the service of Krishna. Otherwise, rasa bhas, otherwise it will be so difficult. You get small body and you are thinking, oh, you are mother and father of Krishna. And it doesn't work. So it's not that automatically everybody gets the same sarupya. That's not exactly conducive to rasa. Now, we have here Sanchintya meditating, Tasya Udat, Sadashim befitting Tanu bodily form. So they get befitting the form according to their meditation. But the krodha is not yet discussed, the anger. Now krodha will refer to Rodra rasa or Rudra rasa. Sometimes a devotee gets angry at Krishna in the loving exchanges. Mother Yashoda may be upset with Krishna that Krishna did not eat sufficient, or he's not coming back for lunch. Gopis may refer anger in different ways. Boys, when they are plagued, they may become angry on Krishna in different ways. But these are all transcendental emotions. This is not anger of material world. This is completely different one. Just a second. Hare Krishna. Okay, I just shared the screen. Okay, are we back on the track? Can you see the screen? Yes. Okay, so I'll continue reading about that kama, the krodha. Kama, we explained Shringarasa, krodha. But anger, fear, and delusion, though they are of the nature of instinctive impulse, are not devotion in the strict sense of the term, because they are not friendly but hostile to the object. Okay, but now if this krodha is interpreted as anger, like a Kamsa or Shishupal or Dantavakra or Shalvahat to Krishna, then we should understand this is not pure devotional service. Though, because it was related to Krishna, will give them spiritual result. Even they will get spiritual, they'll get moksha, but they will not get exactly the same treatment as the devotees. No, and this is not favorable devotional service. So here this is explained. Because they are not friendly, anukulana is not favorably disposed to Krishna. Not friendly but hostile to the object. No? Vishaya. Vishaya means the object of one's love, which is Krishna, and Ashraya means devotee who holds the love for Krishna in his heart. So this is the explain. Anger is found in asuras, like Shishupal, fear in Kamsa, and delusion in Panditas of the pantheistic school. So now examples are given. Who has this? Krodha and that Bibhatsa. They have the feelings of anger, fear, and instinct impulse marked by complete self-forgetful identification with a non-differentiated Brahman. So now, apart from Shishupal and Kamsa, all the impersonalist Gyanis are included into the party who are not favorable to Krishna. But as there is no friendly feelings towards the object of devotion, there is no bhakti. But these are not devotees. They are not devotees. Because there is no friendly disposition toward Krishna. Again, amongst the feelings of Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsala, and Madhurya Rasa, Shanta, though indifferent and dormant in raga, is still reckoned as bhakti on account of his being a little friendly. Now the Shanta Rasa is, which is counted as bhakti, is that there is little intention to please Krishna. So then therefore devotees can assume Shanta Rasa swarupa, like becomes the rivers or the cows or Krishna's flute or the trees in Vrindavan, and facilitate serve in some of the Krishna's pastimes in this way. There is an immense volume of raga in other four varieties of emotions. But in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, there's a tremendous explosion of emotion directed towards Krishna. There is a very immense intensity of feeling for Krishna. That is explained there. So this is the thing explained here, and then there is a quote given to explain why is it so. Why? Because anya belashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulyana krishnanu shilana bhaktiruttamam. That when first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy, and fruitive action. Devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna's desires. So this is explained further in Chaitanya Charitamrita. A pure devotee must not cherish any desire other than to serve Krishna. Anya vancha, anya puja, chadi jnana, anya puja, no demigod worship. Pure devotee must not cherish any desire other than to serve Krishna. He should not offer worship to the demigods or to mundane personalities. So this is the definition of Ekanta Bhakti. That when one actually practices pure devotional service, he focuses entirely on Krishna. There is no deviation to anybody else. So this is the quality of a devotee. This is the definition of pure devotional service. This is called anya abhilash shunyam. Anyata, other, abhilash, desires, shunya, zero. This is only zero we accept from the Buddhist philosophy. No other desires. Then serving Krishna, and that must be favorably. Okay. He should not cultivate artificial knowledge, which is devoid of Krishna consciousness. And he should not engage himself in anything other than Krishna conscious activities. One must engage all one's purified senses in the service of the Lord. This is the favorable execution of Krishna conscious activities. So you can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita immediately details are given, specification, clarification, what it refers to, what it actually means, pure devotional service. So In Srimad Bhagavatam also this is discussed. Look at this. This is in 7th canto. Many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful activities. This great attention may be due to lusty desires. Lusty desires means desires of gopi to Krishna, which are not materialist. Okay, that has to be clarified. Inimical feelings, these are the Kamsa, Shishupal, Dantavakra. Fear, definitely Kamsa, your fear. Affection or devotional service. Any of this will benefit the soul greatly. I shall now explain how one receives Krishna's mercy simply by concentrating one's mind upon him. Now, you see what is absolute nature of the Lord, that in whatever way you think of him, you get benefit, you get moksha. This is Bhagavan. Any way anything you touch him, you get a benefit, whatever. But of course, it's always recommended in favorable way that you get the full benefit and you're not getting risk of being pushed to the hellish, somebody asked that, oh, if Kamsa get moksha and Shishupal get moksha and Ravana get moksha and Hiranyakashipu gets moksha, is it not Bhagavatam promoting that type of activities? Well, you must be damn good in that, that Bhagavan comes to kill you. Otherwise, you'll finish, with secondary agents of the Lord like Maya and the Yamaraj and Bhakti, It's not really promoting it. It's showing you mercy of the Lord. It's showing you that these are bad guys, but because Krishna is so kind, he came to deliver the worst of the parties, Otherwise, you finish like Hitler. Not that Krishna came to give moksha to Hitler, simply Maya finished him off, So not to play this so-called shortcut devotional service, should not be misunderstood. Okay, here the shloka is quoted further. My dear King Yudhishthir, the gopis by their lusty desires, Kamsa by his fear, Shishupal and other kings by envy, the Yadus by their familiar relationship with Krishna, you Pandavas by your great affection for Krishna, and we, the general devotees, by our devotional service, have obtained the mercy of Krishna. But this is the beauty of the Lord, that even these demons, unfavorable people, they also got the benefit. Okay, Prabhupada explains in the purport. Kamsa and other enemies of Krishna merge into the existence of Brahman. But why should Krishna's friends and devotees have the same position? So yes, everybody got benefit, but not exactly the same. Krishna's devotees attain association of the Lord as his constant companions, either in Vrindavan or in Vaikuntha planas. Similarly, although Narada Muni wanders in 3 worlds, he has exalted devotion for Narayana, Ishwariyama. Means that here is position Narada as a unique. He doesn't even go to Vaikuntha. He goes in all the universes and participates in pastimes of the Lord continuously. And for that purpose, he is awarded multi forms to do that service. He's in every universe. That's amazing. For the Jiva Tattva, that's exceptional. That's really something extraordinary. The Vrishnis and Yadus and the father and mother of Krishna in Vrindavan all have familial relation with Krishna. Krishna's foster father and mother in Vrindavan, however, are more exalted in Vasudha and Devaki. So some hints are given about the differences. So now Bhagavatam continues. Somehow or other, one must consider the form of Krishna very seriously. If one actually accepts that Krishna has a form and meditates upon that form and activities of Krishna, which he performs with that swarupa, with his own spiritual transcendental form, one gets really tremendous benefit, ultimate benefit. Then, by one of the 5 different processes mentioned above, one can return home back to Godhead. Atta is lacking Dvena, however, being unable to think of Krishna's form in any of these 5 ways, cannot attain salvation. Therefore, one must somehow think of Krishna, whether in a friendly way or inimical. No, so now this is a difficult one, no? Should not be, again, misunderstood. Prabhupada here explains. Impersonalists and atheists always try to circumvent the form of Krishna. Means they want to say, Krishna, no form, God has no hands, no legs, no head, no qualities. It's really cutting off the form. They don't want to accept that there's a form. Great politicians and philosophers of the modern age even tried to banish Krishna from Bhagavad Gita by saying that it's not Krishna to whom one should surrender, but unborn, unmanifested within Krishna. Nonsense. Consequently, for them there is no salvation. But Krishna's enemies think, here is Krishna, my enemy, I have to kill him. Now they accept Krishna exists, basically, in an unusual way. I admit, it's very unusual, but this is what they see. And they see the form. They are so lucky. They think of Krishna in his actual form, and thus they attain salvation. Devotees, therefore, who constantly think of Krishna's form are certainly liberated. So that's the point. All these examples just to show that even demons are liberated, they think of Krishna. What to speak of devotees who are pleasing to him, who are serving him, who are sacrificing their lives for Krishna's pleasure. They're certainly liberated. The only business of Mayavadi atheists is to make Krishna formless. And consequently, because of this severe offense at the lotus feet of Krishna, they cannot expect salvation. So impersonalists, they achieve salvation who do not criticize form of Krishna, who do not criticize pastimes of Krishna, who do not criticize Krishna's devotees or Krishna's abode, commenting upon it. But Mayavadis who are offensive, they don't get salvation. There are Brahmavadis and Mayavadis. Impersonalists, they are the devotees who are Jnanis, who are attracted to impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord's body. But they know God has a form, but they're not attracted. Just like four Kumaras at the beginning. They were liberated souls. They were roaming around the universe wherever they wanted to go. They were not materialistic people, but they were not offensive to the feet of the Lord, to the form of the Lord. But this Mayavadis, what we have today, is that God has no form, and then not only God has no form, but I'm God, you are God. Even worse, occupying his position. It's so bad, it's very bad. Yeah? If I say that Commissioner of Police does not exist, it's bad to say. But if I say, I'm Commissioner of Police, it is even worse. Correct? It is a crazy idea. What to speak of? Yeah. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur then explains in connection. Tena Shishupaladi Binna Pratikula Bhavam Dihishnur Yena Iva Narakam Yatiti Bhava. Except for Shishupal, those who go against the regulated principles cannot attain salvation and are surely destined for hellish life. Mayavadis go to hell, man. They are not spiritualists. Don't mix impersonalists with Mayavadis. There's a big difference. No? The regulated principle is that one must always think of Krishna whether as a friend or enemy. But Shishupal got exception. He was very offensive, but he was excused. Why? That explained. Shishupal and Dantavakra were not ordinary demons, but were formerly personal associates of Lord Vishnu. They were Jai Vijay. They apparently fell to this material world, but actually they came to assist the Supreme Personality of Godhead by nourishing his pastimes within this world. So Lord wanted to perform some pastimes, and Jai Vijay came to help him in that, and they took three births as the demons. We know that Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu and Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and then Shishupal and Dantavakra, basically. So they are exceptional cases. No? So then again in 7th canto, a little further, in the 10th chapter, Bhagavatam again describes, by devotional service, pure devotees who incessantly think of Supreme Personality of Godhead receive bodies similar to his. This is known as sarupya mukti. If you think of Lord's form, you get a form as his. All the Shishupal, Dantavakra and other kings thought of Krishna's enemy, they also achieved the same result. Now here he said that Shishupal, Dantavakra got sarupya mukti. Because they were so absorbed in the form, not only they get moksha, but they achieve sarupya mukti. They actually got eternal spiritual form. Prabhupada explains here. The devotees like to serve the Lord. He may constantly think of Lord's associates, cover boys, gopis, Lord's father and mother, his servants, trees, lands, animals, plants, water in Lord's abode. Because of constantly thinking of these features, one acquires a transcendental position. Kings like Shishupal, Dantavakra, Kamsa, Pondraka, Narakasura, Shalva were all similarly delivered. This is confirmed by Madhvacharya. Now Prabhupada quotes Madhvacharya and Shloka is there. Pondraka, Narakasura, Shalva Kamsa were all inimical to our Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because all these kings constantly thought of him, they achieved the same liberation, Sarupya Mukti. The Jnana Bhakta, the devotee who follows the path of Jnana, also attains the same destination. Now we are speaking not about Jnanis, we are speaking about Jnana Bhaktas. Okay. If even the enemies of Lord achieve salvation by constantly thinking about the Lord, what is to be said of pure devotees who are always engaged in Lord's service and who think of nothing but the Lord in every activity? And again, emphasis is given that why this is presented, just to show you that even demons get such a benefit, what to speak of the devotees. Okay, then Madhvacharya quotes Skanda Purana and shows this. Lord Vishnu will save even a devotee possessed of an envious life. Just see the extreme mercy of the Lord as shown by his granting liberation to Shishupal. So again, Madhvacharya quotes Skanda Purana. Look, even Shishupal got moksha. No? So that purport explains like this. Shishupal was Lord Krishna's cousin. We know the story, no? How he appeared and what was his attitude towards Krishna. He was mortified when Lord stole the gorgeous young Rukmini, whom Shishupal himself was hell-bent on marrying. This is in purport in Bhagavatam, I think by Hridayananda Maharaj written. For various other reasons also, Shishupal was consumed with envy of Lord Krishna. And finally, he insanely offended him in a great assembly called the Rajasuya sacrifice. At that time, Krishna nonchalantly cut off Shishupal's head and gave him liberation. Now, this is the scripture in Bhagavatam also. Everyone present saw the effulgent soul of Shishupal rise out of his dead body and merge into the existence of the Lord. Now we are speaking about Sayujya Mukti here. We are speaking about impersonal liberation. But the old shlokas explain Sarupya is achieved. The seventh canto explains that Shishupal was the incarnation of gatekeeper in spiritual world, cursed to take birth on the earth as a demon. Since even Shishupal was liberated by Lord, who took into consideration the whole situation, then what to speak of gopis who love Krishna more than anything? So how to understand now this? Bhagavatam says merge, and other shlokas shows that Sarupya Mukti. So Srila Prabhupada explains the mystery of Shishupal's liberation in Krishna book. Although Shishupal acted as enemy of Krishna, he was not for a single moment out of Krishna consciousness, because he was really absorbed like anything. He was always absorbed in thought of Krishna, and thus he first got the salvation of Sayujya Mukti. First he got salvation of Sayujya Mukti. He merged into the body of the Lord after being killed, merging into existence of Supreme, and was finally reinstated in his original position of personal service. And again, he became Jai Vijay Sarupya Mukti. Bas. So everything is clear, no confusion. The Bhagavad Gita corroborates the fact that one who is absorbed in thought of the Supreme Lord at the time of death, antakale chamameva smaram muktva kalevaram, then yad bhavati madbhavam, madbhavam, he achieves my nature, means Sarupya Mukti, or he achieves the transcendental position as a Samipya, Salokya, Srishti, like that. Lord, at the time of death, immediately enters the kingdom of God after quitting his material body. So this is quoted in the explanation here. So I'll just read the balance of the purport. By the promise of Gita, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. I serve one according to his submission. Look at this translation. Krishna says, I reciprocate. Ye yatha mam, how you surrender to me, I reciprocate. But look how Bhaktisiddhanta translates here. I serve one according to his submission. Those who allow themselves to be actuated by the sentiments of fear, anger, and delusion attain to Sayujya Mukti, merging into absolute. Okay. The Shantas obtain bodily forms with aptitude for addiction to Brahman and Paramatma. Now the Shanta Rasa, there is a risk in Shanta Rasa that you still be attracted with Brahman and Paramatma features. So you may get stuck if your Shanta Rasa is not a little more expressive, showing that I want to do something for that supreme, amazing Lord who has all the opulences and powers. Unless you show desire to serve, you will not be promoted in Vaikuntha. Aptitude for addiction to Brahman. The Dasya and Sakya classes of worshippers attain bodily forms characterized by masculine or feminine disposition according to the respective grades of eligibility. So now, according to Dasya Sakya, either you are male or female form, but you get your age, you get your form, you get your service accordingly. Vatsalya class of worshippers get bodily forms befitting fatherly and motherly sentiments. The amorous lovers of Krishna attain the pure forms of gopis, spiritual milkmaids of Raja. So according to the mood of worship that Raga Nuga Bhakti, Raga Atmika Bhakti we follow, we practice Raga Nuga Bhakti and we get particular form of particular rasa that we serve Krishna in that. And we got full body, spiritual body in that which is fit, which is equipped with all facility to serve Krishna in that way. Now the thing is that when Shastra says that one will get body as Krishna, sometimes Mayavadi interpret, you see, swarupa, you become Krishna. It is amazing how by any means they try to avoid surrender to Krishna. Somehow or other quote something to become Krishna, but it's not true. It's false. This is not how it works. So that one should not misunderstand. Srila Jiva Goswami quotes from Shastra and explains this very interesting things. The devotee will not get exactly same form as Krishna. Though may they look as same form, but power is different. So immediately Srila Jiva Goswami quotes from Shastra. He says like this, when Prishnigarbha worshipped the Lord and desired that I want to have son just like you. And Krishna says here, since I find no one else except you equal to me in simplicity and other qualities of good character, I appear in this world as your son Prishnigarbha. I have appeared. So what is the point? Srila Jiva Goswami explains here that there is nobody equal to Lord. He wanted exactly equal to Lord, but Lord said there is nobody equal. You cannot become me. There is no equal to me. There is no another one like me. So he said, I myself will come. That itself is proof. There is nobody equal to the Lord. Then he quotes from Brahma Sutras, Vedanta Sutra, except for creating universes, the devotees attain all other powers. So even if you get Sarupya, you get 400 form of Vishnu, but you are not Vishnu. You cannot create all the universes. These powers are not invested into Jiva. All the other powers are there, whatever. All the siddhis are there. Devotee can fly, they can take any other shape, they can take any other form, they can manipulate matter as they like, they can have even two spiritual bodies, but they cannot do all the functions what Lord does. That's not there. So even that is quoted. Another one, having been awarded transcendental body befitting an associate of personality Godhead, I quit the body made of 5 material elements, and thus all acquired fruity results of work stopped. So all these shlokas are quoted that they reject this idea that having been awarded transcendental body, one will become God, or one will become equal to God in all respects. Sarupya, no, it's not a fact. No, not completely identify with the Lord. That's not possible. Then Srila Jiva Goswami quotes Bhagavatam when Narada Muni instructed Vasudeva. This is 11th canto quoted. This is very interesting. Again, this point is raised. Inimical kings like Shishupal, Pondraka, Shalva were always thinking about Lord Krishna. Even while they were laying down, sitting, or engaging in other activities, they enviously meditated upon the bodily movements of the Lord. Look at this. Meditated upon the bodily movements of the Lord. On the form, they were focused on the form of God. His sporting pastimes, on the pastimes. Krishna's nama, always on their lips. Kamsa chanted more rounds than myself. Krishna is coming. Krishna will kill me. Krishna. Anybody bangs door, Krishna is so Krishna conscious in different way. Okay. His sporting pastimes, they're fully meditating. They heard Krishna killed this demon, that demon. Kamsa sends so many demons and news are coming back. Putana is killed. Trinavrata is killed. Arishtasura is killed. Dhanukasura is killed. Bakasura is killed. Pralambasura is killed. And he is thinking, oh, and then the story, how he was killed. He was hearing. He knew Krishna book better than me, that's for sure. Then, look at this. His loving glances upon his devotees. That caused envy. Oh, he came and saved this one and saved that one and protected this one, protected that one. No? And other attractive features displayed by the Lord. Being thus always absorbed in Krishna, they achieve spiritual liberation in Lord's own abode. Now here Bhagavatam says, in these Lord's own abode. What then can be said of the benediction offered to those who constantly fix their mind on Krishna in a favorable, loving mood? So that is the whole point which this today's shloka on Brahma-saṁhitā says. Yam krodha kama sahaja pranayadi. Even those who are in fear, in anger, absorbed, what to speak of devotees? Then is quoted Garuda Purana. Even foolish sinners like Shishupal and Duryodhan, who showered abuse upon Lord, were cleansed of all sins simply by remembering Lord Krishna. Somehow or other, their minds were absorbed in the Lord, and thus they attained liberation. What doubt then is there about the destination of those who are overwhelmed with devotion and feelings for the Lord? So this is how again and again this point is emphasized. And Srila Jiva Goswami concludes this, that it is to be understood that those persons who spontaneously attain concentration on Lord in favorable mood are much, much more advanced, much more, they attain much more than these demons will attain. That is the message of the shloka. No? And there also, they attain different forms according to their mood of service. That is also to be clear here, that it's not that everybody gets same. You become God. No, swarupa, no, not like that. You don't become God, you become servant of the Lord. No? And also, he explains, Srila Jiva Goswami explains here that they attain Krishna, not some other form. Sometimes people say, oh yeah, Krishna is Brahman, but actually there in spiritual world, he's all Brahman. He's only Jyoti, he's only light, effulgence. Here, Brahman assumed form of Krishna. But Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, no, you meditate on Krishna and you achieve that Krishna, the same Krishna in the spiritual. And immediately he quotes from Bhagavatam, when Krishna showed the spiritual world to coward men. Remember that he showed them, they took bath and he showed them spiritual world. Nanda Maharaj and the other coward men felt the greatest happiness when they saw that transcendental abode, Goloka. They were especially amazed to see Krishna himself there, surrounded by the personified Vedas who were offering him prayers. So this is immediately quoted by Jiva Goswami. Look, they were serving Krishna, they meditated on Krishna, they absorbed in Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, and when the spiritual world is revealed, what they saw? The same Krishna they saw there. So they are going to achieve that form, not that some other form, or not that there is no form in the spiritual world. They're going to achieve the same form. So this is today's shloka. Now if you read, you can see it's really amazing. Adore primeval Lord Govinda, the meditators of whom, by meditating upon him under the sway of wrath, amorous passion, natural friendly love, fear, parental affection, delusion, reverence, and willing service, attain to bodily forms befitting the nature of their contemplation. So this is the Brahmas concludes his prayers here. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Therefore I worship that Lord who is so kind even to demons, what to speak of devotees. So thank you very much for patiently hearing. We'll continue next week with a few more sessions on Brahma-saṁhitā, and Krishna Kirti Prabhu will give class tonight. So please, all of you are invited, and we apologize for all inconvenience for this morning change of the schedule. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.